Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's see here. Let me plug that in right there. Where is my studio audience at? My 5 studio audience participants. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and get my drink, and then we will get it on started because that's the way we roll here. All right. What's happening, people? What's going on? It is Thursday. It is the 16th of December. We're coming up on the holidays. So I certainly hope everybody has had a good one. I think everybody has had a really good time and been enjoying time with your family. In Kentucky here, we're in cleanup mode. So we're gonna go ahead and check it on out here. And as the president came down yesterday and gave his condolences and things like that. Tough times here in the Bluegrass State. So, but what has happened? Let me say a big what up to everybody in the house. Let's see here. We got my man Beeger up in the house. True Virgil. What's happening? Well, I set the stream up and then I reset the stream. It should have been set for 10:45. I thought before I went to bed, I set it to 10:45. So if it stayed on 9:45, I do apologize. Because yeah, I had to run out and do some things before it started raining. So I still got home though. I still got home in time. Not bad. I'm playing Madden and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I did beat that game called Mafia on the PlayStation. I beat Mafia before, but I think it was on the Xbox 360, I think. It was a long time ago. But I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good game, good story, pretty well written. Characters were pretty well fleshed out as well. So yeah, but now it's time to tap the Rockies. Oh yeah, now you know what's going on. What is going on? So Billy, what's happening? The Billy Akara, how you doing? Who else is in the house? Oh, I see Ice Beyond. What's happening? Yeah, hit that like button. Yeah, smack it. Smack that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smack it. So that Taurus is great. How are you doing? Shout out to you. Soul Provider Speaks is in the house. Says salute. What is going on there, young man? What is going on? Part of the Nerd Pill podcast. Certainly hope that is. Yeah, I mean, I saw your numbers, man. You all are doing fine. Just keep up the good work. And always go ahead and drop a link to your podcast, Soul Provider. Don't be scared. You're family now. I'm not going to tell you to go to the kitchen and get you a Jack and Coke. You need to go in there and get yourself and pour one for me. But everybody go check out the Nerd Pill podcast. Just go ahead and drop that link. It's okay. No, there's no charge. Well, not yet anyway. So we got an overall arcing question about are games more important than services? Or do you fall in line with services are just as important? My personal opinion. And I want to give a big shout out to J-Dub City on this one. Yeah, shout out to J-Dub City. He was playing Halo. He got sick yesterday. He got motion sickness, or he said that I think he was playing on the Series X. And he pretty much said that it dropped down in what's it called? It dropped down in resolution so bad that he got dizzy. I certainly hope he's doing all right. But he asked a legitimate question. It was about something on Kotaku, is how the media is now trying to say that the services are just as important or not more important than what the PlayStation is, which is the games. No, I mean, I disagree because, yeah, I know the games are more important because it's a gaming device. If it's streaming devices, your TV does the streaming already. Okay, I don't have the only app I think I have loaded up on my PlayStation is I don't even have Spotify, because can't you do Spotify? I think Spotify is on there, and I think it is. I don't know if it's Spotify or Apple Music is one. I don't have that. Okay, I don't have that. I don't even have Twitch loaded up. Now I am going to load Twitch up today, and I am going to stream an insanity version of Mass Effect. I'm going to start with an insanity version of Mass Effect. I put it on hardcore, and I was still just murking them, So I'm like, all right, I need to put this on insanity. So I will be on insanity for Mass Effect. Yes, but that'll be on Twitch. So I have no idea what my Twitch thing is. So you all are just gonna have to peruse Twitch
So I'm sorry, I can't be. I'll put it on Twitter for all you all who are on the Twitter machine. I've also got a Facebook gaming page. I'm going to link that up. I'm going to link up the Facebook gaming page and start streaming through StreamYards on it. Still working on getting my big IGN guest on. Hopefully, maybe later today or tomorrow afternoon to get that done. That's right, Lincoln Clay, Mass Effect on Twitch. So Lincoln Clay, I saw you got he got that chassis together, and shout out to him and J Dub. If you don't know, J Dub is sponsoring his esports racing team. So now you're talking. Ah. All right, hold on. Let me open up a window. It's stuffy in here. La, 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 la. But what do you all think is more important, games or services? Services are more important. Why do you think? All the services they're available on your smart TVs. Hulu, Twitch, I say yeah, Hulu and Twitch and what else is on there? Disney Plus. I mean, it's not that you can't watch Disney Plus through your PlayStation or Xbox. It's like, why would you? It's on your television set. So, I mean, to me personally, it's about the games. So, but we'll get more into that. And let me tell you all, as you can see up on the screen right now, we'll talk about that. Phoenix Point, which is a game that I am going to buy because I like those type of games. I like those like turn-based games, like XCOM and stuff like that. So this is from the creators, I believe, of XCOM. This game allegedly is running 4K, 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5. But on the Xbox, it appears to be running at 50 frames per second. Okay. Again, this is from PSU. This was a couple days ago. I was at work when this story broke. I don't know. Again, this is why you don't hear about the Xbox community talking about power anymore. Look at this. Well, darn it, I hit the wrong thing. Oh, but if you want DoorDash, the Series X, the performance of the game isn't quite up to par. There's 4K resolution, but the frame rate has been reduced to 50, although faster load times and high resolution textures are also present. The press blurb notes that a hotfix will be added to allow players to choose between 4K 50 and 1440p 60. Now, look, I'm a 1440p guy, but the mere fact that you are at 4K 50 shows how trash the Xbox Series console is with 12 T flops and all this other stuff that's going on. So if you want to know why T flops are important, I found out. So I was listening to Broken Silicone, and he said that they were talking about mining, like when you mine for Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. Bitcoin, you need a bunch of T flops. So the now that Xbox is going to go to some NFTs, if you all don't know that, they're going to NFTs, and that's terrible in itself. But it's like they're bringing everything on there except the actual games. If I want to do NFTs, I talk to my brokerage. I don't talk to the Xbox. Okay. Again, the fact is that this is once again yet another game that is performing better on the PlayStation. Again. So, and we're 1 year into it. I don't want to hear about the tools. I don't want to hear about I don't want to hear anything else about it anymore. The discussion on power is over. I never heard of 50 frames per second. I mean 30, yes, 60 and above, yes. 50 frames. I mean, that's bad. That is bad. Also, I need to correct the record on something that I said last week as well. Hold on. Yeah. the Unreal Engine debate we were having last week. The Unreal Engine does do open world. I was wrong about that. But the way it structures its missions are pretty much linear based. Now, I actually talked to 2 developers. They said it was open world. It's not that it can't do open world. It just, it doesn't do it as well as, say, like the Frostbite engine or the Decima engine, things like that. But the cover-based system that Unreal has, that's the best cover-based system that you can have. And again, it's not that Frostbite can't do it. It's not that Decima can't do it. It just won't do it as well. It's just, it's something that each engine has something it does well. What I am sick and tired of seeing is people acting like the Xbox is the only one that can run the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine can run on anything. I mean, it's the most, I want to say it's the most used engine out there. There's a reason why Sony made a $400 million capital investment into Epic Games. I mean, there's a multitude of reasons why. You know, Sony is releasing their games on Epic Store along with Steam, I believe. That helps that relationship. And Sony, I mean, for Epic is not going to turn down a $200 million capital investment into Epic Games. So they're not going to do that. So, but yeah, overall, he specifically said, this was the developer, and I always defer to the developers. He listened to the podcast. He said again, he said Unreal Engine can do open world, but it just does not do it as well as other engines. So because he talked about like World of Warcraft. He talked about World of Warcraft and how that's an MMO. He said, so it's open world. He said, but it's a linear based structure. So mission structure. So in order for you to get, I don't know, the glow stick of destiny, to borrow an Avengers term, in order for you to get the glow stick of destiny, you need to go ahead and complete 7 missions. He said that's just the way. You just can't go and try to get the glow stick of destiny. He said that's just the way. That's a mission structure. Whereas that, I don't know. He talked about the Frostbite engine. He talked about Mass Effect Andromeda. He said that was open. You could go to XYZ world. You didn't have any specific structure on how to do your missions. He said that's just kind of, so shout out to the almighty Spartan God. I think Fatal Charade, it was in here. They were correct on it being able to do open world. Where they were incorrect is the linear based structure system. So again, and that's no shot. That's just, I'm giving credit where credit is due. So credit needs to be where credit is due. So shout out to those guys for pointing that out. They were 100% correct. Where they were incorrect is the mission structure. Again, you know, I'm just using Mass Effect Andromeda, and which is trash. Everybody knows Andromeda's trash, right? So we know that. But it is open world, meaning that yes, you start out in your ship. You can go anywhere in your ship. That could happen on Unreal Engine because you did that on the Normandy. But what you could not do is, you know, to get this mission and this mission and this mission, you had to do it has to be a certain order with Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. You know, in order to go get the Turian Primarch, you had to go and get the Primarch to call the summit. You could not do it any other way. I don't know if you play Mass Effect 3, the slight spoiler, and there's a summit in Mass Effect 3, and with that summit in Mass Effect 3, you just can't call the summit. You have to do the mission structure. So, but yeah, you were incorrect. Yeah, you're incorrect. Go play Mass Effect on the Unreal Engine and look at your structure, and then go play Andromeda, which is more open world. It is what it is, my guy. It is what it is. So, but yeah, he flat said he was like, it ain't that Unreal can't do it, just don't do it as well. He said I was 100% right about that. He said they each do different things well. The Rage engine of Rockstar Games, that's an open world engine. That does open world better than Unreal. And it has a cover-based system, but not as good as the Unreal. Okay? Not as good as the Unreal engine. So, but what I am trying to get through everybody's head here is that, and I'm going to say this again. Well, I'll say that for later. stop acting like the Unreal Engine can only run on Xbox. Okay, we know it can't. You know. And speaking of, did anybody ever find out? Did anybody in the media do their job? Was the Hellblade gameplay that we saw, was that on PC or was that on Series X? Did anybody do their job out there in the media? You see what I'm saying? Because I've been told it was on PC. Now I don't have that verified. That's what I got told. What's up, Andrew Wilkins? How you doing? Supposedly a politician came out and said he's attempting to give owners of a certain crypto 30 cents per coin. Really? I have not heard that. What's up, Lorenzo? Hit that like button. What's up, Eric83? Well, again, yeah, D-Batch again. Everybody knows that dude is on some crazy stuff. That's all I can say. Like I said, his knees must be sore, you know, for all the, you know, kneeling down that he and that podcast are having to do. We see, I mean, first it was the tools. It ain't the tools. It's the console. Ain't nothing wrong with the console. The console's performing exactly the way it is. Let's see. It says Taurus is great. Says the Unreal Engine, the most powerful creation engine, they call it. For them, it is. For them. And look, it is powerful. They're using it in movie studios, for Christ's sake. So, but again, it's not that it's not powerful. It's not that it doesn't work right. Is that it does things that other engines can't do well, and vice versa. That's it. It's like any other thing. All right? It's like any other thing. You know, you go to a chef, you go to a restaurant, and the chef specializes in grilled cheese sandwiches, and that's all he cooks. His grilled cheese sandwich is gonna taste better than somebody else's who specializes in other things. It doesn't mean the other chef can't cook. Speaking of cooking, Jack Daniel's honey is slamming. So that's not the only game. I didn't say it was. Okay. Gears of War 4 is on the Unreal Engine. It is linear based in structure. Okay. It just is, my guy. Okay. And you're like, well, that's what they chose to do because that's what it does well. Okay. Let it go. That's what it does well. Now, does that mean it won't do some things open world? Yes, Fortnite is open world there, but there's no structure to the missions, is there? Just you go out there and you shoot around. Unreal. Man, these people are moving in are loud as the dickens. I mean, good grief. They will wake the dead. So, But that big thing is over here in the way. What now? Days Gone is open world. Days Gone is open world and has a shitty cover system, doesn't it? Yes. Days Gone is open world. As I said, it's on the Unreal Engine. Doesn't mean Deacon can't squat and shoot. Doesn't do it as well as it does on Unreal, does it? No, it doesn't. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and again, why didn't Sony particularly care about that game? I got told it's because it's on a non-proprietary engine. That's what they didn't care about the games. Okay, so I thought the game was fine. I played it, I finished it. I'm like, yeah, this is okay. There ain't nothing new here. Up, Sabrina. So it's not linear since it's open world. And that's what I just said, Spartan. Didn't I just say that? I said it's not linear, it's open world, but it doesn't do cover as well. Once again, that's the point. It's not that it won't do open world, it just doesn't do it as well. It won't do it as well as, say, the Frostbite engine. And the Frostbite engine does open world, but the cover-based system isn't as good as the Unreal Engine. That's my whole point. They have their strengths and weaknesses. My point to you is to stop acting like Unreal is the only runs on Xbox. That's the way you come across, my guy. So it's the way you come across. It's about the way the game looks. It's about the engine, the way the game looks. Look, Crysis looks great. Crysis looks fantastic, but people always complain about the gameplay on Crysis. They've always said Crysis looks fantastic. So, you know, but would Crysis run better as far as cover and shooting if it was linear, if it was on a Unreal Engine? Possibly. 500 zombies on the screen at the same time was their point of focus. Again, listen very carefully to what I'm saying. I'm gonna say it one more time and I'm moving off of it. It's not that the Unreal Engine will not do open world. I flat out just corrected the record on that. It will. But what it doesn't do is, if it's doing open world, it doesn't have a great cover. It's going to take away from something else. Does it do open world better than it does the covering based system like it has in Gears? No, it doesn't. All right. Somebody said Andromeda was fire. No, Andromeda was a lot of things. Fire ain't one of them. So, but if you want to see what I'm talking about, play Mass Effect 1. You can't go after Saren until you expose him on the Citadel. You can't, that's it. If it was open world, you would just be able to go after him out in the Traverse. But it's on the Unreal Engine, and the Unreal Engine and now once you go into the Traverse, you can go different places. But you know, you can go to Pharaohs. Shout out to my man JD33. I'm like, dude, you went to Pharaohs way too soon, you know. But again, he doesn't have to go the way that I go. That's what made Mass Effect fun. But the linear structure is still the same. The ending is not going to change no matter what you do, because it's a linear based game. It just allows you to go to different points. The Unreal Engine game is on Gears 5. Gears 5 has the same ending no matter which way you go. It's linear. It's not like you're gonna always have to fight that big thing at the end. No matter what you do, you have to fight this big thing at the end. And no matter where I go, so I'm going to the same spot, linear based. Andromeda better than me. All right, I disagree. Fair enough. That's fine. All right, but we're moving on off of that. Like I said, it's not that the Unreal Engine can't do open world, just it doesn't do open world as good as other engines. And other engines don't do cover base as good as the Unreal Engine. But again, your homework was to go and find out if the Hellblade gameplay that we saw was on an Xbox or on a PC. None of you all have come back with any answers. So again, I'm still waiting. I was told it was on PC. Just like the Flight Sim game they showed. They never showed Flight Sim running on the Xbox. I always showed it running on PC. And so let's find that out first, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So, because I don't know. Then Studio just had many great game engineers to modify the Unreal Engine. I'm not here to say they didn't. And I remember playing it and trying to hide and duck and dodge and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't do it as well as the Frostbite engine. It doesn't. Can we just move it along? Okay. But yes, the zombie hordes were, you know, they came out of nowhere and all that kind of stuff. And you didn't know where they were going. But doesn't it end the same way no matter what? It's not like, all right, to prove my point, and I'm moving on. Every time you play Days Gone, at some point in the game, you have to fight something called the Sawmill Horde. Now, if it was open world, if it was a truly open world game, I would not have to do that. You see what I'm saying? It's linear. So again, you guys, it's not that you guys you were correct about it being open world, but it's still linear based. It is. Period. Get over yourselves and stop acting like the Xbox is the only console that can run the Unreal Engine when it can't even run this other game I'm talking about at 60 frames per second. I mean, again, and then go find out if Hellblade, I gotta take a shot. Go find out if Hellblade was running on PC or an Xbox, because I've not seen anything. And I'm not here to say what it was running on. I was told it was running on PC, And I'm like, well, that makes sense because they show the flight sim game running on PC. So, have I seen the new Spider-Man movie yet? Yes, I have seen it, and I'm going again today. I saw it Monday. I did my quick, because all we could do on Monday was a quick reaction. And my quick reaction was that I was afraid that with all the characters that they had, it would get mushed down. But it didn't. They did a good job. It was fun. It was, it was fun to watch, like the other Spider-Man. So if you liked Homecoming and you liked, was it Far From Home? If you liked those two Spider-Mans, you'll like this Spider-Man. Okay? If you didn't like those two Spider-Mans, you probably won't like this because it's the same director, same writers, same actors. Okay? So that's the channel host responsibility. Okay, we're going to be talking about that here shortly. I agree 100%. So Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Yep, spoiler alert. Well, my point, Beecher, is that you have people who literally are acting like the Unreal Engine does not work on PlayStation, even though Sony has close to $500 million capital investment, and we saw the Nanite engine running on the PlayStation first, and we have the Matrix demo that's running better on the PlayStation. And this is getting ridiculous, man. It's getting ridiculous. What's wrong with you Negroes? I mean, seriously, you're really starting to get out of control. So I go away for a few days and you all get delusions of grandeur. So I don't know. I'm here today and I'm still efforting trying to get my big IGN guest on. I am going to sync. I got to sink some money into StreamYard to get that all set up. So it's called, I'm making a capital investment in my podcast. So, well, see, Spartan God, that we're just going to agree to disagree. There's a lot of really good engines out there. It just depends on what you want to do. Unreal does a whole lot. Like Unreal XCOM, I believe, is on the Unreal Engine, and that's a turn-based game. And again, that's a totally different kind of game than Gears. Totally different. Okay, so. Hellblade 1 was on Unreal Engine, I believe. So it's not a surprise that Unreal Engine 5 would have a lot of the games. You're the IGN guest. Well, I'm trying to get BitCloud on. We were trying to do it today. I may have to push it till tomorrow. I am going to make my big time capital investment though in my in that pot. And at about 2 or 3 o'clock today, I'm trying to set everything up, get all my documentations, and get the fax machine going. So, it's a long movie. Again, I agree with the pacing. I thought the pacing in the first act was off, but it was building up to what we saw. And no spoilers here. Also, who saw Hawkeye yesterday? Hawkeye was fire. Friggin' Helen Belova. I mean, you're seeing the Young Avengers, as I suspected. You're seeing the Young Avengers assemble right in front of your eyes, but they're doing it on the Disney Plus shows. We got Helen Belova, we got Kate Bishop. I mean, we're getting some good stuff. Okay, so you have the Bradley kid out of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, it's lining up. We're getting Miss Marvel in the spring. So I'm loving it. I'm liking what they're doing. We're getting She-Hulk. I mean, I'm getting excited. So let's see, all that goes to the engineers you put on Unreal Engine and how they can modify source. Yeah, again, I love the Unreal Engine. I think the Rage engine is better, and I think the Decima engine is better. But it's not like the Unreal Engine is horrible. It's not horrible. So, but it doesn't do open world as good as Frostbite. But Frostbite in turn doesn't do cover base as good as Unreal. Unreal does linear cinematics better than Frostbite. Frostbite does destruction better than Unreal. Now, Unreal 5 may change that, but let's wait and see what exactly they give us. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And again, for the love of Chinese cheese, for the love of Chinese Jesus and chili Fritos, stop acting like the Xbox is the only console that runs the Unreal Engine. I mean, when I'm seeing people saying that Hellblade is the best looking game coming out, when it's running on a non-proprietary engine that Sony has a $500 million capital investment in, that's not a good look. I'm sorry, if you all running your mouths on that, that ain't good. Guys, we got to get the likes up. We have got to get the likes up. I'm sorry. We got to get the likes up, or I'm going to start playing music, or I'll start singing Fleetwood Mac. Okay, my girl got me a guitar. I'm trying to learn how to play Never Going Back Again. And you all, I'll start singing it. So get the likes up. So Hellblade wasn't running on an Xbox. Again, the first 48. Let's see some proof. I'm not here to say you're wrong, but I want some proof that I was told that too. But I was told it was running on PC. But again, let's wait and see if we can get some confirmation. All right. So, but all right, let's move on to this other story, because I do want to talk about this 4K 50 frames per second, because this is complete trash. So apparently this is the name of this game is Phoenix Point, and it says PS5 outperforms Xbox Series X version with 4K 60. And so again, we're going to just talk about this real fast. We get it. If you have a PlayStation 5, you will get it at 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. Okay. You get the improved loading time, high texture. So you get a 4K 60 game with high resolution textures. Fair enough. So, all right, that's actually good. Okay. And remember what we told you guys here at this podcast was what? The PS5 was going to be running games at closer to a 2080. Okay, 27 to 2080, closer to the 2080, and you will get games at 60 frames per second with high to ultra graphic settings. Okay, and then we also told you what? The dynamic range scaling resolution wasn't going anywhere. We told you that native resolution wasn't going anywhere, and told you the checkerboard resolution wasn't going anywhere. And again, once again, it's been 1 year since the consoles have been out, and we have been correct over here. So shout out to everybody that's part of the Porch Light podcast behind the scenes. Brian, Bill, the rest of you guys, William. Shout out to everybody that's part of it, getting the paperwork done. That is the small but drunk staff that I employ over here. And what do I pay them in? I pay them in the finest bourbon that Kentucky has, because who don't want bourbon? Who wants a shot of bourbon? Me. Oh, you want a shot of bourbon? Here you go. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. So moving on. This is why you all don't hear any more talk about power. Okay? It's because the PlayStation 5 is more powerful. Can we move this? We're going to table this discussion from death do we part. Okay? Because I'm tired. I'm tired of being right all the time. Okay? It's like Donald Trump said, we're going to be doing so much winning, you're going to be tired of it. You wake up, you win. When you come over here, you win. Okay? So, I mean, if you're tired of losing, you got plenty of podcasts out there where people are just losing, and you know who they are, the RDNA 1.5 and all this kind of stuff. So, what's a true witty? Let's see here. Unreal to become an open world game engine. There are nothing that says Unreal can't outperform Slipspace. Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to wait and see. I'm willing to wait and see where they take Unreal. I mean, I like the Unreal Engine. I'm the one who was screaming they need to take what? Mass Effect. The next Mass Effect needs to be on the Unreal Engine, not on that trash Frostbite engine. How many of you all heard me say that? Did you all hear me say that? I've said that like 1,000 times. So yes, give me back my linear-based structured system. I think there's Dragon Age Inquisitions and all that. That's on Unreal. Again, linear-based system. In order for you to get to one part, you got to do other things, So, so it is more powerful. We now know it is. So, You know, Billy, come on now. We know it is. The Order 1886 trademark. Yeah. So what do you all think that means? I personally believe it just means that Sony doesn't want anybody else to make a game called The Order 1886. That's what I think it means. But do you think it means that what's up, Jeff? Do you think it means that there's going to be another one? Okay, you think there's going to be another Order 1886? Hey, what if they remaster it and they put it on Unreal 5? Would that make you happy? I mean, I'm just asking. So the next Dragon Age better have good crafting. I agree. The crafting on Inquisitions was garbage. So still not one native 4K 60 game on Series X, PS5. I agree, and that's why the PS5 is more powerful. We can just go ahead and move it down the road. I totally understand it. I know there's a lot of butthurt people. I know that the nether regions are sore, you know, because they did lie. You know, they did. They lied to you all. I don't know why they lied, but they lied. You know, so, and, you know, they lied to you to get your super chat money and your PayPal money and all that kind of stuff. So, Emily Watts is in the house. Shout out to Emily Watts. I have no idea who that is, but shout out to Emily Watts. Thanks for coming by. Thank you. So, but, let's see here. Ready at Dawn is owned by Facebook. Yeah. But the game name may be owned by Sony. Again, that's what I was trying to tell people about Death Stranding. Like, Sony may own the name Death Stranding. They have trademarked the name, but Kojima physically owns the game. Okay, he made that game on Sony's proprietary engine, so called Decima. So you know, so yeah, there we go. Gears 5, Forza Horizon 5 as well. Well, again, that's my point here. You know, well, we know we saw that Forza 5 was running on a PC. We know that. We know it was running on a PC. So, and we know that because of the there we go. So we know that simply because we know that what am I trying to say here? Because of the downgrades. We know that because of the downgrade. So, you know, that's it's sad, but it's true. Don't you know it's true? Ooh. But yeah, let's go to this Stalker NFT. The fact that this is even going to be available is pathetic. Okay, pathetic. So, just what do you all think about that? I literally started cracking up about Stalker. I mean, I just want the game to be complete. You know, they're basically like, you can buy, you can do this, you can do that, you can buy. No, but you can see what the Xbox is going to be now. You can clearly see they're just going to put out shell games, and then they're going to go ahead and they'll occasionally drop one that has everything, but they're going to put out a bunch of shell games, and then they're going to say, you all need to go and do these microtransactions because you're only paying, because you're only playing. Well, we already know how the GPU is built, Spartan. If you all want to know more about how the PlayStation designed and built, just pull it up on YouTube, and Mark Cerny will tell you that. You don't have to go to guys like us to find this stuff out. So, but their GPU is, you know, frequency based. If you don't know that, and it's only going to use the energy it needs to convert. The energy, meaning the frequencies that it needs, is only the only things that's going to work on it. You know, if it only takes 10 watts to do something, it will use 10 watts and have a little bit of overhead because it has a variable frequency clock. And which, again, both static clocks and variable clocks work. Do not let anybody ever tell you that one is better and one is worse. They both have their advantages, and it is what it is. The NFTs are slimy. Oh yeah, I know, brother. You speaking to the chorus, my man. I am right there in front of that church pew with you saying, hallelujah, this is slimy. I mean, this is nasty. This is earthworm Jim slimy, you know, so Osmosis Jones funky. I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, the Xbox Series X is a muscle car. That's the best way. I've always said that. You know, I've always said it's not that it's a bad system. They just got a bunch of moist fanboys who are lying about that. You know, I don't know why they're lying, but they're lying about what it is capable of. So, Five Nights at Freddy's today only on PC. Five Nights. So, oh yeah. I've never played that. My niece played that game. So, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's better throttled. It's the better all around console. Let's just leave it there. I mean, again, argue about it. A matter of fact, leave in the comment section after the podcast what you really like about the PlayStation and what you don't like. Okay. So PCs have had a form of variable clocks for years. The unique part of the PlayStation 5 is it works in tandem with GPU. That is true. That is true. Again, there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with the static clock though. Okay, there's nothing wrong with static clocks. So it is what it is. So there's nothing wrong with the static clock. So it just to me it wastes a lot of energy when everything is static versus, again, if I'm at the grocery store, that's why when you go to the grocery store, they have the big push carts and then they have the little carry baskets. Okay, the PlayStation is like it has the push cart and the carry basket. The Xbox is the carry bag is the big basket. And even though you're walking around that store, your grocery store, you may only have 3 things. That's a waste of space. And that's what the Xbox does. It's wasting all this energy. Whereas at the PlayStation, it frequencies down to exactly what it needs with some overhead, meaning that, like I said, if it takes 10 watts of something to do it, it will give the console 10.8 to 11. Like, here, you have to do it within this frequency at this moment. So, and you have people telling you, lying their asses off, it won't work right. It's, why won't it just do the same things? It's actually working better because it's more efficient. I did see somebody say that. Yeah, that you want efficiency. Okay. All right. You want the efficiency. So stalkers sell NFT bogus dev. Well, again, I don't know if they're bogus devs. I just know I won't be getting the game. I mean, if I want to talk about NFTs and coins, that's why I have a brokerage. I don't need, did you buy an Xbox for NFTs or to play games? That's my question to you. Oh, but the fact they're offering this service, it's like, Negro, they already got this service. There's people that are actually really good at this stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. This is nuts. You can see it going down to 120 gigs. So, well, it might. I'm not buying the game, but I wish everybody the best of luck in the world that's buying that game. I'm not here to say the game is terrible. I just won't be buying it. Okay? I won't be buying it. But that's me. That is me. Let me be. Yeah, let me be. Let me be what R. Kelly say. You all are killing me. I'm dying over here. So. But yeah, I mean, once again, overall question is it's about the games, people, not the services. Here's my PlayStation 5 services. PlayStation Plus, PS Now, EA Access. That's what I have on there. All that has to do with access to games. I don't have Disney Plus. I don't have Hulu. I don't have Netflix. Although The Witcher Season 2 starts tomorrow, I will be getting Netflix. I'm reactivating Netflix today. Okay? So I'm doing that today. Get out of the way. Move, get out the way. That's tomorrow. Yeah, I'm seeing Spider-Man again shortly. Few more hours. Woohoo. But yeah, it says, so again, the NFTs are going to be used more in the future. Coins are going to be used more in the future. They are. You should be in that market to diversify. But that's a different podcast, guys. The fact that they're doing it, I mean, again, who is trying to find an Xbox to go get NFTs? I mean, seriously, has it gotten that bad for the Xbox? Okay, it offers everything but games. There are people talking about VRR and VHS and HPV and HDR, whatever the hell. And it's like, where are the games? They're talking about everything but games. Sony needs to go ahead and add VRR. Why? The Sony's games are playing fine. You know, they're playing fine. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so let's go to the last topic. So we're going to talk about the media and how I'm seeing people in the media. All right, first things first, what is understood is never spoken. What does that mean? That means that we don't have to talk about how good the 49ers were in 1994. They're one of the greatest teams of all time. All right. So we know, or is it 92? 92, 94 49ers. They're one of the greatest teams of all time. It's not spoken. Bruce Lee is the greatest fighter ever. Doesn't have to be spoken. When I see people that identify themselves as media holding up either a PlayStation or an Xbox, trying to tell me, holding it up like in their hands physically, telling me that the games are coming, this is going to be better, they better not drop the ball. Why are you trying? What's up, Chris B? Thanks for your appreciation. Why are they trying so hard to sell you the console? The console sells itself. Console sells itself. The consumers will make the final call on what they want. The console sells itself. The fact that you have to get up on television, on a podcast, on a webcast, and hold up an Xbox, hold up a PlayStation, saying that you need to get this, that the things are changing. If things were changing so great, why are you having to tell me it's changing? The fact you have to tell me it's changing means it's not changing. You understand what I'm saying? The fact you have to tell me it's changing means it's not changing. Do you understand? Rubber band. So you don't have to tell me how good Xbox is or is going to be. I remember a time when I could go to the store and buy games that were only on Xbox. That's over. I no longer see games that are only on Xbox. I see games that are on Xbox and everywhere else, whether it be PC, whether it be Nintendo, whether it be PlayStation. I don't need an Xbox to play their games. I don't. And if I want to play Flight Sim at 60 frames per second, the Xbox won't do that. Okay? It won't do that. It would be nice if they put in a 1440p mode at 60 frames per second on Flight Sim. Guess what? They ain't doing it. So don't tell me how don't hold it up to me. I'm just talking about myself here. Can't speak for none of you all. NVIDIA does not have to tell you how great its cards are, because what is understood does not have to be spoken. All that dude Jensen had to do was say, we coming out with another line of cars, and people went nuts. Okay? Now, Lisa Su with AMD, again, the woman I should be married to, and I'm not, she's the one that has to come out and tell you that there's 10% difference with this and our competitor, and 18% difference between this and our old stuff. Again, that's fine. That's because she's trying to sell the car, because NVIDIA controls the market. So that's different. You're trying to sell me. You're trying to get into the market and gain more market therefore you have to sell your product to me. That's a different take. Jensen ain't with NVIDIA. He has never come out and said how much better this is, because it's better. Everybody knows that. Now, I don't like NVIDIA because it's expensive. It's expensive because it's worth it. That's why. Well, that's what they're saying to you with NVIDIA. Yeah, we're a little more expensive, but we're worth it. Okay? You see this deep learning, super sampling we got? Our competitors are just now getting around to it. We got it already. What's understood isn't spoken. It was the DC fanboys who were online yelling and screaming that Marvel has to be more like DC because DC was terrible. Okay? They need to make their stuff more like what DC's doing. Why? DC's failing. DC is failing. Why would they make something more like that? Everybody knows Marvel stuff is better. How do we know it's better? Oh, well, we can look at the numbers. Again, what is already understood don't have to be kept. You don't have to keep talking about it. It is people who had to come up to me and say, the whole Chuck Norris thing, and I loved it. Chuck Norris doesn't have to cut his grass. He just goes out there and tells it to lie down. I mean, again, I love it. I love it. But they're trying to convince me, though, Chuck Norris is so tough, he ain't even got to use a lawnmower. His grass just lies down. Like, oh, well, we can't grow. We in Chuck Norris's yard. But who are they trying to convince that Chuck Norris is a badass? We already know Chuck is a badass. He's a bad man. All right? He ain't as good. He wasn't as good a fighter as Bruce Lee. You know who said that? Chuck Norris. But everybody understands that, right? You can go back and watch Enter the Dragon from the 1970s and see how Bruce Lee already has on the same gloves that they're using in the UFC now. Except Bruce Lee did this 35 to 40 years ago before these guys came out with UFC gloves. Like, those are the gloves that Bruce Lee had on in Enter the Dragon from the 70s. Again, what is understood isn't spoken. So when you see somebody on TV, I don't care who it is, okay? It's like the Ninja. Like, we went out and bought something, the Ninja Foodie and all that kind of stuff. Even though it was more expensive than the Cuisinarts and it was more expensive than other things, they're looking at it like, yeah, it's more expensive, but it's worth it. It's more expensive. That's why you got to get it now. Why it's $199 instead of $269. But damn, I see a lot of these dudes greasing up hard on how the Xbox is supposed to be getting is so much better. And it's like, if it's so much better, why you got to sell me on it? Okay, I can determine whether it's better or not. I can do that. I'm actually smart enough to do that. Some of the best rappers out there, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, all of them, they don't walk around talking about they the greatest rappers because everybody already knows they are. So if the Xbox was so much better and things were changing, why do you have to try to sell me on it, Jarhead? You don't have to sell me on it. Well, the PlayStation isn't as powerful. Okay, then explain why it's outperforming the Xbox. Okay, you don't, again, I'm just, we can see it. That's why they don't talk about it anymore. It is what it is. What's understood is not spoken. Oh, well, the developer didn't do right on that game. And you know this how? You saw the dev notes. Well, no, but just shut your hole. Shut the hole under your nose before somebody sticks something in it. But when I'm seeing, it's unfortunate that there are people in the media whose job it is to relay media-related stories, and you go find them, whatever, that they're having to try to sell you on anything. Game Pass makes the Xbox more valuable. Well, if that was true, why is Xbox being outsold 2-1? That's what they do. Because the consumer has already decided that Game Pass isn't making the Xbox more valuable. The consumer did that already. Xbox is putting games in Game Pass day and date. Yeah, but they're incomplete. Well, how do you know that? Oh, Halo launched without co-op.
It did. It sure did. Now, we're not going to name call people here, Corey. Come on now. We above that now, brother. Come on. I know you better than that. Let's not name call people. We can disagree to disagree with them and keep it moving, right? That's all we got to do here. No lies detected. All right? This is why I said to you all, hey, look, these people were screaming that Returnal should have been nominated for Game of the Year. I'm like, well, if it's your Game of the Year, that's fine. You know, that's okay. It's okay that you disagree with a bunch of people in the media, with Jeff Keighley and Alana Pierce. It's okay to disagree with them. Shout out to Alana Pierce, like she said on her own podcast. Hey guys, it's okay to disagree with what we in the media say. You know, I have not had the pleasure of playing Resident Evil 8 because I'm still playing Resident Evil 2. I'm getting chased by some dude that's got a black hat on and a black trench coat. He just busts through the walls and tries to grab me with one hand. Shoot him like 10 times, he don't die. It's like, all right, this guy can't be killed, so I guess he's just going to be an obstacle. You know, he just comes out of nowhere. So, that's a pain in the ass because you don't never know where he's coming from, right? Throw a grenade at him, he just keeps walking. So, yeah, and I get it. People want the money. The one of the best things that happened that YouTube did was they allowed people who are members, or not members, they allowed people who really like the podcasters and what the podcasters are doing to become members. They allowed you to donate through Super Chat and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you need to understand that they're not here. They're not going to have the best interest at heart because they're trying to make money. I mean, but that's the way it always is going to be, right? That's just the way it's going to be. You know, hey, I'm trying to make money off this thing, so I got to tell you a bunch of stuff that, you know, if I own a media company, if I owned a website and it was to follow gaming, if Xbox or Microsoft was giving me stuff to talk about and Sony was not, I would be more, I would cover Microsoft with a softer hand. You know, shout out to Robin Gaming. Robin Gaming just flat said Sony doesn't give people a whole lot to talk about and go on, so people have been reduced to just talking about rumors. That's why poor MBG, shout out to him, was talking about the whole Kojima thing so much. Okay? No proof that it was being done. It was something he wanted to, you know, that he wants to happen. So, you know, that's what I'm seeing. Who else is it? A TSMC or something like that? Another good podcaster. I mean, he does good uploads, but he is constantly talking about rumors. Okay? I mean, and it's like, dude, and what they do is when they're wrong, they'll just say, well, it was a rumor. I said it was a rumor. That's why I really try to stay out of the rumor. That's why I do it. Okay? That's why I stay out of the rumor thing. So, about the biggest rumor I ever gave out was the PS5 Pro being real, which it is real. They just haven't fabricated it yet because they don't know whether it's going to be a Pro or they're going to wait for some other technologies and make it a PS6, you know. But, you know, that's just, it is what it is. But nobody's a fraud. You just have to understand that it's just entertainment, you know. And I don't think people are a fraud. But if I come up here and I'm on, and I had to get a new camera because my 720p camera was horrible. I need to find a camera without a microphone. I just want the camera. So that's what I'm looking for. If anybody comes across one, just please let me know. I'll try to go out and buy it. But what I'm trying to say is that if I'm holding up, now look, let me make this clear. If my podcast becomes sponsored, of course I'm going to tell you to go to the sponsor. But we also have to click that there's paid advertisement on here. You know, as far as we have to like go in and set it up differently. Like we have sponsorship, things like that. So, I mean, you have women can have podcasts, talk about gaming,
but they can have lipstick sponsors and stuff like that, you know, fingernail, nail polish sponsors, because they're also females. Men can do it with, like, I've been approached by Manscaped. I'm like, well, you have to send me your product to use. And if they send me a product to use, I will then go ahead and sign up to be part of that. Let's just say that. But so then I have a reason to tell you to use it, right? Because I'm getting paid. I'm getting, you know, I'll say, you know, go here and use this code of, use this code, Porchlight 50, Porchlight 50, for Manscaped, and you'll get 10% off. That's paid advertisement. Okay, you have to know that though up front. That is disclosed. I should not be in front of a television set hawking anything to you all, saying that it's going to get better, because that's your job to determine if it's going to get better. Not me trying to, I got to convince these people that PlayStation is going to get better. If you don't like, what have I always said? If you don't like what Sony's doing, that is fine. Go ahead and sell your PlayStation. Well, I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Okay, then you're just going to bitch and moan like a girl. Fine, fair enough. But as long as the people know that's who you are, you're not somebody who's wanting to solve the issue. You just want to continue it. You don't want to solve the problem, because if you wanted to solve the problem, you, instead of bitching, you'd be like, yeah, I don't like what Sony's doing. I'm getting rid of their stuff. Okay? It's just like years ago, the Bengals lost to the Bengals had what was called the meltdown at Paul Brown. Okay? The meltdown at Paul Brown. And Eric 83 knows what I'm about to tell you. They lose a playoff game to the Pittsburgh Steelers in like the most stupidest fashion. Like it was unfathomed how they lost the game. So I said after the game, I said, you know what? They better fire Marvin Lewis the next day. Okay? They better fire him. And I just sat there and I got off work and I turned on the radio and I listened to the Bengals press conference. And when Marvin Lewis came out there and said, I'll be back next year, like the Terminator, I'll be back. You know what I did? I went home. I unsubbed. I unsubscribed from the updates that the Bengals media would give you. I unsigned. They sent out their things for season tickets. I had season tickets that year. I unsubscribed from that, and I had my AJ Green jersey. It was autographed. All right, I had my AJ Green jersey that was autographed. I put that in the trunk, and I said, I won't put this jersey back on until they fire Marvin Lewis. And guess what? I didn't put it back on until 2 years ago. Now I had to wash it because it smelled like funk. It was in the trunk. Funk in the trunk. But that's the way you solve the issue. So a lot of people did the same thing. They just quit going to the games. They quit going to, and so people stop going to the games. They lose interest. The sports bars on Sunday are only halfway filled, if that. People are constantly bitching about the team. The team, finally, they said, you know what? They said, you know what? We're going to get rid of him. As soon as they got rid of him, as soon as they introduced Zach Taylor as the coach, I didn't care. I put my AJ Green jersey back on. You know why? Because they made a change. So, again, that goes with this as well. Why? Ask yourselves, if you're going to talk about Hellblade 2 being great, can you at least let us know if it was running on an Xbox? If you're going to tell me how great the Xbox is and how good it's going to be, can you at least, you shouldn't have to tell me that I should be able to see that for myself. Okay, the fact you have to sell it to me means it ain't that good. But I mean, that's just the facts, man. That's just the facts. I told that story, a movie called Open Range. This guy went into the store. He went to the general store. He said he bought himself a piece of chocolate. The guy behind the guy was like, man, this is the best tasting chocolate in the whole world. So the person that bought it said, oh, well, what did you think about it? And he was like, The guy was like, well, I never tried it. The guy was like, well, how do you know it's the best tasting piece of chocolate in the whole world? I mean, it was the guy's job to sell him the chocolate. It is some of these people that are supposed to be media. If you're media, do your damn homework. Let me know if Hellblade 2 is running on PC or an Xbox, please. Can you do that before you tell me how great the Xbox is? I already know what it is and what it isn't. So, I mean, that's the truth, right? So at least give me that. At least do that for me. As in other words, do your job. Okay? Do your job. Because if I got to do your job as a consumer, what's the point of even listening to you? Period. Do your job. That's all I'm asking. Do your damn job. So again, doesn't mean you don't have a great podcast. Doesn't mean you're not fun to listen to. But don't tell me something is one way. The fact you have to tell me it's something means it's not that. Okay? Don't tell me you got the greatest pitching staff of all time and they ain't struck nobody out yet. Man, we got the dream team. We got the greatest pitching of all time. You know, okay, compared to who? Who you throwing against? Oh, we struck out a bunch of fifth graders. Oh, all right, wow. You know. So, you know, well, yeah, it would be like somebody, shout out to Snoop Dogg. Did you all know that Snoop Dogg actually did commercials for erectile dysfunction on the radio? And the way Snoop Dogg introduced that commercial was, I know some of you guys got a problem downstairs. I ain't got that problem, but you all may have it. It's like, if you ain't got the problem, then why you hawking this? You know, why you hawking a product that you don't use? Shout out to Snoop, though. It was funny as hell. Like, why is he doing a commercial? That's like me doing a commercial for eating at Jeff Ruby Steakhouse I ain't never been before. You heard of Jeff Ruby Steakhouse? Well, it smells good on the outside. I ain't never ate there, but I know it's good. Members of the media's job is to inform the people that they're listening to them, that are trusting them enough to listen to them, so that you all can make what is called informed decisions. All right? You should leave each podcast a little bit smarter than you came into it. A little bit smarter. Maybe not a whole lot smarter. And there's some podcasters that are out there just for laughs and giggles. I understand that. But don't tell me you're part of the media, you got media credentials, and I'm asking you a media-based question, and I don't know. and then in the same breath, you're trying to tell me how great something is. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Let's just bring it down a notch, my brothers, okay? Bring it down a notch. But that's all I got for you today in this stream. I'm going to get back to playing Madden. I'm up 31-17 on the Steelers. Speaking of that, let me look at your questions here. Let's see here. Corey Massey said he's unsubbed from every channel that he considers to be run by frauds. Oh, fair enough. There you go. Yeah, that is definitely your right to do that. Deputy Gaming, these YouTubers all claim to have the platforms, but most of their content is centered towards one of the platforms. Well, again, as long as they declare that they're centric one way or another, that means you're making an informed decision. Like, I don't have an Xbox at all. I have said that multiple times. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you to go buy something that I don't have. That somebody can say, well, why haven't you bought one? Because I haven't deemed it as necessary. I've said if there's a $400 Xbox or an Xbox that's $499, and right next to it in the same aisle at Best Buy, there's a 3070 or 6700, GPU. I'm buying the GPU. I've said that 100 times. Okay, so and I just said it 101 times. I will always buy a PC part before I buy an Xbox because the PC allows me to play the same games at better, more stable frame rates, more options, and that's what I prefer. Now, this doesn't mean that the Xbox is trash. It's just that I prefer to play their games on PC. So for me, PC and PlayStation is the best way to play. And if I want to buy a Nintendo system, that's the best way to play the games. Now, that's just me. Other people may disagree, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to tell you that I'm not going to say it's trash. How do I know? I don't have one. So if you hear me say Xbox is trash, I'm lying to you, because the next follow-up question should be, how long have you had your Xbox? Oh, I don't have one. Well, how do you know it's trash? That should make logical sense to you. Okay? That should make logical sense to you. Like people who bought the PlayStation 5 digitally versus buying it physically. I don't understand why you buy digital everything. Okay, I just don't do it. I'm old school though. But, you know, then you get the situation like you got with Uncharted, where you all are having some issues with your upgrades. And I hope that they fix it. I'm sure they will. But I can go to the store right now and drop a whopping $14 on both Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy. Then I guess drop another 5 or 10 on the upgrade for both. And I'm golden. I'm golden child. You have to go out and try. You either have to play it on PC, which a lot of these guys are going to do because they're going to be mad at PlayStation. But it ain't PlayStation's fault. You went out and bought a digital console. You are always supposed to default to physical first, then digital. You know, that's why these guys ran out and bought brand new SSDs. Well, I need more space. I need some more space. Well, aren't your games stored in the cloud? Well, but that ain't the same. Well, all right. That's fine. You know, but again, this is not about a certain YouTuber. This is about you all. If you're going to support a man or a woman, at least have them do their job. Okay. I mean, shout out to Hip Hop Gamers. I've asked Hip Hop Gamers some questions. He's gotten back to me. He put information out there. It's now been verified. That's why I did that podcast the other day. Shout out to Hip Hop Gamer, because again, he already told us about how the PS5 variably was going to work backwards compatible. He told us that. All right. So I'm like, if you're going to make fun of old dude, which I don't recommend you do, but if you're going to sit up there and mock him, at least give him credit, you know, on this, because he was 100% correct. So he was 100% correct, you know. So it is what it is. And I like it. I get along with mostly everybody. Okay. I get along with mostly everybody. You all know that, right? I mean, there's some people that are moist as hell. And there are definitely situations I could have handled differently. And that's on me to grow. And that's what I did. At the end of the day, though, I'm not going to tell you one thing and then do something else. So, yeah, like I said, I'm still trying to put this 500 gig. Shout out to Jemiah Dixon. I'm like, I'm going to put this 250 gig SSD into my PC. And Jemiah's like, you're going to run out of space real fast. I'm like, I should be fine. I don't know, like a month later, I'm like, man, he was right. I should have went 500. He was 100% correct. All right. So, Vijay said if he wanted to really play Xbox, he would have sold his Mac years ago and gone with PC. Again, my whole thing is that if somebody buys me an Xbox, I will accept it. But am I going to physically go out there and buy one? The answer is no. Why? Because I have determined that for me, I'd rather just play their games on PC with the Xbox controller. Okay. I play with their Xbox controller. I don't have an issue with it. So I'm fine with it. I'm happy. You know, there's other ways you can play their games. But if I'm going to play their flight sim game, I'll use my flight sim stick. You know, if I play their driving game, yeah, I need to get a racing wheel. I agree. When Gran Turismo comes out, I'm getting a racing wheel. So, and as long as that racing wheel hopefully works on my PC, I should be able to play Forza Motorsports with it as well. So, but God, let's see here. You bought, yes, this is the first generation right now, Spartan 100, and I've said that, right? This is the first generation where I'm not buying an Xbox. Okay, I'm not. But I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna tear it down. I'm not gonna make fun of it. It's just not. It's something that I'd rather get like I said to you. If there's a 6800 XT in the store the same time there's an Xbox, I'm buying the 6800. But that's me. I understand if somebody wants to just buy the console. I get it. I understand. Trust me. I get it. So you won't walk into that ecosystem trap for, well, again, it is what it is. Yeah, the Xbox 360 so far is my favorite console, but I have said what? The PS5 is slowly pushing up on that. But yeah, by far, the 360 is my favorite console. I lost days playing Oblivion and Skyrim and Fallout. Yeah, loved it. Miss it. That's why people were complaining about it. That's why everybody's like, why don't they just make the 360, point 2.0? That's what everybody wants. And we're still waiting on it. So, but we're still waiting on it. Now, maybe the Series X gets to that point. And if it does, I'll just buy their games on PC. I'm not anti Xbox game. I'm anti these guys lying, saying that it was capable of doing one thing and it's not. I have not seen, what first party game does Xbox have out, first party, that has ray tracing on it? Name it. I can name the Sony games that have it. I know Returnal has some ray tracing on it. I know that the Spider-Man games have ray tracing on it. Okay. We know that Hellblade 2 will have machine learning because that's been confirmed by the developer. So, but what we don't know is, will it have any ray tracing? PlayStation 5 is better than the 360. Well, again, yeah, I'm not here to say that it won't be, but the 360, I had it for its entire life. So once I had the PS5 for its entire life, I can make the same determination. But the PS5, yeah, for me personally, it's starting to push the way I felt about the 360. I couldn't wait to get home and play on my 360. I would be playing on my 360 from, 7 p.m. to midnight and have to go to work the next day. And I would be, I come into work dragging. I was up gaming last night on my 360. So I'm not there with my PS5, but I am older and I only play maybe 2 hours at a time. The Mass Effect, I'll do 4 hours. Okay. PS5 has a fat pipe. Yeah, that shout out to the fat pipe. Yeah. So that fat pipe, yeah, pushes information extremely fast. So, but all right, guys, I am going to get off here. It is almost 12 and I have not eaten breakfast or lunch. I am going to order La Rosa's today. I'm in a La Rosa's mood. So I will talk to you all later. I definitely appreciate you being here. And let me go in and play some music. And shout out to everybody that was here. Shout out to everybody that was here. And as you can see up there on the screen, I'm playing Halo. That is brand new Halo footage I played. So yeah, still not on the planet yet, or the Halo ring yet. I'm still up in space. So yeah, so I'm still playing Halo, but today it's gonna be a little bit of Madden, and I'm gonna set up my Twitch account on my PS5 and get that going. So you're gonna see Spider-Man. Yeah, and I'll do a Spider-Man spoiler on the 27th. That way everybody has a chance to go see it over the holiday. I'm hearing, again, I've heard a lot of people talking about it. They really do like it. Everybody's different. I enjoyed it. But again, let me make this clear. I like the first 2 Spider-Mans in the MCU. I like Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, how he's being written. So I recommend this movie to you. But if you don't like Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man and you prefer Tobey Maguire's or you prefer Andrew Garfield's, then don't go watch this movie because that ain't the Spider-Man you're going to see. All right. But I enjoyed it. I also recommend Hawkeye. But if you watch Hawkeye, you sure as hell had better watch Black Widow, because the Hawkeye, the way it's going to finish, it's going to have a lot of Black Widow tie-ins. And this past version of Hawkeye, the one that came out yesterday, tons of Black Widow Easter eggs. So again, if you have Disney Plus, watch Black Widow. Okay. Watch Black Widow. Then, a matter of fact, watch Captain America Civil War, then watch Black Widow, then watch Hawkeye. Okay, that's what you should do, buddy. All right, then. That is it. I am out of here. I appreciate everybody being here. The Almighty Spartan God, Beeger, Andrew Wilkins, shout out to you. Jeff B. Gaming, First 48 Gaming, everybody that was here. Chris B, appreciate all your, you subbing and being here for me. All right, guys, that's it. Deuces.